You are not from this world. And you know this when things don't make sense. When you realize we live in a world that doesn't make sense. It seems more like a nightmare than a real world. That's why in ancient traditions it is said that life is suffering, not in the sense that there is no, that's you, and just stand with it. No, in the sense that don't delude yourself. This life we're living of death and sickness and losing people you love and all these horrible things, that is a life of suffering. But the good news is that you are not that. And you sort of know this when your life collapses and things are so strange that you think, this is not real. This looks like a movie. It looks like a dream, it didn't seem like a real moment. Well, actually, in this moment, you are more real than usually, if you can put degrees to that. But there is less activity that is filtering your experience. And suddenly you can see that what's happening, what you consider me, my story, I'm this name, I was born this time in this country, and these are the characteristics of my personality, my DNA configuration, whatever it is that you consider you, suddenly becomes transparent. You realize this is just like the page of a book. What's happening is, in Buddhism, they talk about interdependence. Like, you cannot pinpoint what is what because everything is constantly affected by everything all the time. So our normal way of processing things, like me, myself, just doesn't make sense when you're really scientifically, in the sense of trying to find the truth of your direct experience. When you really think about what's happening in your life, it just doesn't make any sense. And all this, I want to do this, I don't have to do all that personal talk that we have in our head, it is just a tiny little bit of what you are. Think about the world. The thoughts in your head are just tiny little voices compared to what's really happening in the world. In the same way, the whole world is a tiny little bit piece of what you are. And in that way, you go back home and you realize that, yes, there is certain reality to your experience. Yes, you are living it. The awareness of it is real. But the way we experience it is just conditioning. You could be living a pain in your feet and think that is something horrible. And you could be happy because that's allowing you not to go to work and you're enjoying a movie. With painkillers, it's not a big deal. You know, literally every circumstance can be taken in many different ways. You always have the option to choose. But ultimately, the freedom from it, the actual sense of, wow, yes, that thing that we're looking for desperately in this world is not from this world, because your home is not this world. This world is just consecutive chain of experiences. You seem to be living like a game, like a movie, and you're experiencing it, yes, but that's not the deeper reality in you. The deeper reality in you is immutable. It never changes. This day, night, you're the same. Last year you were the same. Next year you will be the same. There's a part in you that never changes. That is clear. That is all the time, everywhere, and is creating your experience right now of watching a video and listening to words and thinking about them. Maybe it's the senses. Every part of your experience, it is just sustained by a deeper layer of yourself that is aware of it. And the it that you are aware and the me that is aware of, it is just a dream. To say the least, it is the same. meaning that the internal world and the external world is the same. We try to think there is a me inside of here, there's a world outside of there with a lot of people that I don't like and with a lot of things that I need. And yet all that is just a story in your mind. It's just blah, 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 blah. You have the chance to leave the movie, and you don't need to go out of the cinema. You don't need to turn off the TV. You don't need to stop your life. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just sitting in the rear seat and just noticing that this is just happening. This moment that we are sharing right now, it is fascinating. It is full of aliveness. And only our thinking, oh no, I have to do this, I have to do that, oh, I have these problems, I need this, I want that. Only that is covering the beauty, the spontaneity of this moment. And when you find it, when you have a good moment, when you finally get what you want and then you just relax, suddenly you just realize that this moment per se is intrinsically nice. And that starts feeling like home. Something you know is that you find home when you find the deep peace. And your mind is taken away. It's taking you away from it. It is not to suppress your mind, not to reject your mind. That's obviously not going to work. That's your mind too. It's actually just noticing that some people like the idea of a video game. Okay, let's play along that lines. A movie, a video game, a dream, whatever. It is just an experience. Don't even think about it. Don't even process it. Don't even think, oh, how can I stop this movie? How can I get out of the video game? People are not real. This is what. Not even that. That's still processing. We're talking about direct experience and just resting in the awareness of just being, the being that transcends everything that comes and goes. This thought, that thought, this sensation, that sensation, this moment, that moment, in here, there, all that is just flowing, flowing, moving, moving, moving. But everything that moves is not peaceful, really. It's inside of peaceful, but it is just an illusion. It's just borrowing its reality from the deeper sense of calm that is your direct experience of this moment. And that is always accessible to you, and you feel it. When you're getting close and closer to home, you can feel in your heart the peace, this fragrance of resting in your real nature. And everything in this world just feels like a dream, just feels not your real nature. Something you're experiencing, yes, but still it's like a screen, it's like a movie. You feel there is something about it that is not. It's an illusion. It moves and it seems that I'm here and it seems that, but that's all processing. At some point you find a deeper sense of calm and without changing anything. You're just resting home and you realize that you actually never left home. The only trouble you ever have is to believe you are the character in a movie. That you're an isolated being disconnected from the universe and disconnected from the world. Believing that, thinking that is the only problem. If you have the courage to rest and to trust, you will find there's a deeper reality to the apparent reality we are living. That deeper reality is unchanging. and it's always there. You cannot get rid of it. So when you look for it, just pay attention, because it's always there. It is always there. Only when you try to change, that's when it seems to disappear. But it's just covered, it's only overlooked because we're just thinking, trapped. We're contracting our attention and thinking. So just let it go. Feel this moment. Feel that you're alive. Forget that stories that you're here, you're there, you need this, you need that, you want this, you want that. Just for a second, let it go. And if you rest deeply enough, you're going to find a layer, a very subtle, very profound, calm, peaceful layer. And if you abide in it long enough, you're going to notice that it never really leaves you. It is always there, covering and permeating every little bit of your experience. Just have to rest. Just notice here and now. Don't change anything. Changing is mind. Changing is ego. Just be. At some point you will notice that that being is not changing. Your mind, your moods, your physical experiences change it, but there is this part of you that it never changes. It never disappears. It never appears. It's only uncovered. And only then you realize that that's all that you wanted. From there, living, it is always full of beauty and love. Excitement too. Like in a movie, anything can be lived from a place of enjoyment, even a scary movie. So whatever kind of movie you're living in, enjoy it and rest that you are home even when you don't think you are. You have been always home. And you will always be. There's no other possibility. You are home. You are home. Beyond all this apparent world is just appearing to you like a movie. You don't have to follow it. You can just rest. Not hoping the world to disappear, but just resting beyond the world. It will bring you sense of peace, a sensation of warmth in your chest, smile in the back of your eyes. That is not from this world. And you will realize that all that you want is not from this world. All that you ever wanted, you, yourself, your being, it is not from the physical world. The physical world is in it. It's just a part of it. And you don't need to be paying attention to it. You can let your mind and your body move and rest beyond it.